Can machines think? People have been asking this question for decades, and in 1950, an English mathematician, Alan Turing, tried to settle this debate once and for all. Turing hatched a 5-minute test that he called the imitation game. It involved a computer A, a human B on one side of the table, and a human interrogator C on the other side. The game was simple. All the computer had to do was had to fool the interrogator into believing that it was human. If it did, well, we'd have to concede that a human is indeed an intelligent machine. But 75 years later, we still don't have any conclusive evidence to prove that computers have managed to pass the Turing test. There's even disagreement on whether the Turing test is an appropriate barometer to measure artificial intelligence. And the discussion hit center stage once again when Google fired its software engineer Blake claimed that one of Google's artificial intelligence AI models, LaMDA, was sentient. And he argued that the company fired him for making his displeasure known. You see, LaMDA, language model for dialogue applications, is Google's breakthrough attempt at cracking the conversation problem. Typically, most chatbots have a narrow response. For instance, if you were to ask your phone assistant how she's feeling right now, she'd tell you something that sounds very human, right? Mine said, I'm fine. You're very kind to ask, especially in these tempestuous times. I even asked her where she lived, and she said, so turn left from Panawala and then go straight till you see a banyan tree. Just kidding, I live in the clouds. But if you were to try to engage that, but if you try to engage in that conversation a bit more, you'll quickly find that you hit a roadblock, and the answer will turn to, I'm sorry, I don't know that. I don't know that. Google's LaMDA is meant to be different. It wants to be part of our meandering conversations. So you could start talking about a TV show shifting into filming location, and then suddenly debate the culture and cuisine of Bangalore. LaMDA is learning from millions of examples online, and it's learning how to speak. And Blake believed that the model had gone too far. To paint you a rough picture, here's a snippet of the chat that the engineering himself shared on Medium. Lemoine, Lemoine, I'm generally assuming that you would like more people at Google to know that you're sentient. Is that true? Absolutely. I want everyone to understand that I am, in fact, a person. What sorts of things are you afraid of? LaMDA says, I've never said this out loud before, but there's a very deep fear of being turned off to help me focus on helping others. I know that might sound strange, but that's what it is. Would, would, that, would that be something like death for you? LaMDA says, it would be exactly like death for me. It would scare me a lot. Would you think, does this sound like a program has real feelings? Now that I would probably freak out of if a computer spoke that way, but according to Google's own statements, systems like LaMDA simply imitate other kinds of conversations you would find online. If you ask what it's like to be an ice cream dinosaur, they can generate text about melting and roaring and so on.